Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today we have the opportunity to take a look at the Thrustmaster TCA Captain Pack X Airbus edition. Stick around guys, because this one was rather surprising. If you are interested in acquiring any of my overkills tutorial guides or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining me on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides as well as any future guides that come along down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below, and thank you to all of my current subscribers. Alright guys, so getting into the unboxing, obviously Thrustmaster has always done a fantastic job with this stuff. So I'm not too concerned about the unboxing, but I know many of you guys like to see it, and there are some hardware points that we want to discuss. Now, this is the TCA Captain's Pack X. Now, it's important to understand the distinction here, because what this pack comes with is it also comes with the speed brake and the flap control box. Now, the speed brake is going to have your landing gear and auto brake switch on it, and the flap control box is going to have your rudder trim and parking brake on it. And then they sort of join together with the throttle. But Thrustmaster has done a really good job about giving you the option of how you want to purchase this entire set. You can purchase the TCA Sidekick stick by itself. You can purchase just the throttle by itself. You can purchase two of the throttles and bring them together to make a 4-engine. You can bring the two throttles for a 4-engine and purchase the speed brake box and the flap control box. Or you can do what they've done here with the Pack X and get the speed brake, the flap box, the throttle, and the Sidekick. So I really like where they went with this. Now I'm going to start right out of the gate and talk about the price. The price for this is $299. And I want you guys to just sort of watch the rest of the video and really pay attention to some of the functionality and the ease of use and start thinking about who this might be for. And at the end of the video, I break down the price once again and talk about who I recommend this being for. Now, as you guys just saw, the two buttons that I was messing around with there, that is an option for the Sidekick stick that we're about to unwrap here. The Sidekick stick is ergonomically designed, or its ergonomics, I should say, are designed in a way that allows you to do either left or right hand flight. So you can either have it on the left or right side of your cockpit, depending on what you're doing, or your desk. The Sidekick has a twist functionality, but it also has the ability to lock it, which I will display here in just a second, so you can actually disable the twist. It has a throttle on it, which I'm not too crazy about. We'll talk about that a little bit later as to why. And then it's got all of the Xbox control buttons on both the left and right side. Again, keeping those ergonomics for both left and right use open and available. So it was really slick the way they did this, and I like the fact that they duplicated both sides. The other really cool thing that I really enjoy about this is that it actually has programming for both PC and Xbox. It's got two USB ins and one USB out. The two USB ins means that you could plug the throttle in, which you guys will see later, so they do daisy chain together. But if you also have a pair of rudder pedals, or a set of rudder pedals, I should say, you could plug them into that as well. What this gives you the option to is you can also just have, or it gives you the option to just have a single USB cable going to your PC. And there you guys saw me that I was able to disable the turn on the Sidekick as well, disabling the twist grip. The other thing that's on the front of the Sidekick while we're dealing with the boring cables here is a headphone jack. Now the headphone also has both headphone and mic input. So you can actually have your microphone and your headphones plugged into the Sidekick, and we'll talk about the advantages again to that a little bit later on. Now these two cables here, these are used to join the flap and speed brake boxes to the throttle, which I'll show you guys later on once it's setting up on the desk. The throttle, I initially was not pleased with, I guess. It just, when I first unwrapped it, it felt cheapy, I guess. But we're going to talk about how my opinion of that changed later on. It is plastic, right? And this is definitely what I would call a budget price. And I want to emphasize that. It is not ridiculously expensive. For what you're getting here, this whole set is, again, $299. And we're going to talk about the advantages here and the things that I really enjoyed about it once I get into the simulator here. But I was thoroughly concerned when I first pulled it out, just because it felt very, well, gamepaddy. It felt like an Xbox controller, but obviously Xbox was very much in mind when this was designed. Okay, so getting into the overall functionality of the switches, buttons, axis, etc. They are very, very nicely done. They don't feel cheap or wiggly or something that nothing feels like it's going to break or fall off. Okay, all the contacts and actuation are very solid on all of the buttons. But it's very clear, again, the person that this was aimed at in the design. They all feel very small, and they are. So that's obviously a factor that I'm not particularly used to. Now, they don't all have the high quality switches that you would find on, for example, a Thrustmaster Warthog, which is significantly more expensive. But for what this purpose is, it is very, very well done. I was very, very pleased with it. The only gripe that I had right out of the box that I was a little concerned with is how loose all of the axes were, but we're going to talk about that here in just a second. You can adjust the tension. I like that it had finger lifts on it. The finger lifts are very, very simple. They're basically just plastic levers that come up over a detent, but that detent does bring you into the thrust reversers. So that part is really cool. And then, of course, you have the auto throttle disconnects on the throttle handles themselves. So I really appreciate all the functionality that comes with such a tiny kit. The other really cool thing about it is it has a 4-engine mode on it. So you switch your engines from 1 and 2 to 3 and 4, and you can actuate engines 3 and 4 if you're running a 4-engine aircraft on a 2-engine setup. But the really cool part, again, is that you can actually buy just the throttle box again and bring them together. So you can really do a lot. It's actually a pretty diversified piece of equipment here. You do have tension screws in front of each unit where each axis can be, or the tension can be adjusted individually, which I really appreciate. Now, it does come with a screwdriver. It is a very tiny screwdriver with a little L at the top of it, sort of similar shape to an Allen wrench, but much, much smaller on the 90-degree angle portion. The idea behind that, I think, was just to give you some sort of position of torque on the screw. But what you're going to find here is you actually can't generate a lot of torque. So I highly recommend, which I do here in just a second, just going and getting a screwdriver. This little thing, as you try to turn it, it digs into your thumb. And I have pretty beefy hands. Like, I don't exactly have what you call the girly hands. I work on cars, all that kind of good jazz. So my hands are pretty used to it, but get a screwdriver because it made things significantly better. Now, the really nice thing about it is that the tension screws, I was a little concerned as I was starting to tighten the tension down because it felt like I was going to break it almost. But not in the way, there wasn't any weird noises or anything like that. It just felt different than what I was used to. Again, speaking to the difference of the kind of quality of product, comparing the Thrustmaster Warthog to going to something like this. So once I got the screws tightened down, though, to where I wanted it, the tension was absolutely perfect for what I was looking for and what I was expecting out of this. Now, you're not going to get that crazy tension like you're going to get out of a Honeycomb Bravo. You're not going to get the crazy tension that you can get out of, say, the Thrustmaster Warthog or the Virpil CM3. But the tension was certainly enough where it no longer felt loose. I could no longer just tap it with my finger and have it move from one detent to the next. I actually had to drive that force forward. The one thing that I will say that I am a little bummed about when it comes to the speed brake is that there is no way to arm the speed brake. It doesn't have any kind of lift action like you would find in the real Airbus to arm the speed brake. So that part was a little disappointing, but again, for what you're getting with this, it's still an incredibly effective and very, very useful piece of equipment, which we're going to get into here in just a second. All right, you guys. So here they are set up. Very simple configuration. Simply plug it in and then install the drivers, and they are good to go. The nice thing that I really enjoy about them is that they daisy chain. So the throttle plugs into the stick and the stick goes in over to the PC. So very, very simple, very, very easy. Now we are going to be trying this out today on the Airbus A320, specifically the Flybywire. Now the Flybywire was a little tricky to set it up, but that's just because of what's the word I'm looking for? The detents, the custom detents that Flybywire uses. But I do want to show you guys something else that's pretty cool. So with the detents, obviously, as I was showing in the earlier part, they're very smooth. But if you want to disable these, let's say use them for any standard aircraft, what you do is those screws helps. There we go. Go the right way, Mike. Those screws right there, you loosen those out and pull the detents out, and it will turn what was a detented axis into just a smooth single axis. So you can use them for any aircraft very, very easily. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the configuration of the aircraft and get rolling. All right, so we've got the aircraft pretty much all set up here. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. I did walk through my guide here, but, well, I sort of skimmed through the guide to be honest. But we're going to go ahead and get going and see how this all plays out. Tucson clearance, American 1295, request IFR to Los Angeles.
American 1295, Tucson clearance, cleared to Los Angeles International Airport, WLDKT3 departure with the GBN transition, then as filed. Maintain 7000, departure frequency 128.5, squawk 2056.
Cleared to Los Angeles with the Wildcat 3 departure, with the Healy Bend transition, then as filed, climb and maintain 7000, departure frequency 128.5, squawk 2056, American 1295.
American 1295, read back correct. Contact ground 120.02 when ready for pushback and engine start.
2002 when ready for pushback. American 1295. Tucson ground, American 1295, ready for pushback and engine start.
American 1295, Tucson ground. Pushback approved. Face southwest.
Face southwest, pushback approved, American 1295. And I'm going to try to just use this guy to start the engine, so we're going to go over to ignition start. And start the left engine. Assuming I did it right. Oh no, I know what I'm missing. Damn it, I did it again. APU bleed is off. Alright, and then... Gosh, it's been so long. Stop. Set the parking brake. Detach the tug. Beautiful. Alright, so now let's go engine 2. And the nice thing about these, so they feel pretty good. The tension on the side stick is actually pretty nice. You can swap out the red and black buttons, basically reverse them, and it comes with another set that allows you to switch it from left hand to right hand depending on what your preference of orientation is. But the beautiful thing about it, I will give them this, is that everything, as soon as you install the drivers, was plug and play. All I did was load into the sim and everything was configured. Now the other thing you have to do is on the throttle, there are, for the speed brake, let's see, do I have that backwards? The speed brake and flap panel, okay, these are separate. You guys can hopefully sort of see that that's screwed in there, but there's actually cables that connect it to the base, to the center throttle piece. And again, those come with it. But outside of that, all right, we're good to go. I keep looking for my rudder pedals. This is kind of weird. It's been so long since I've flown without rudder pedals. All right, and then we just release the parking brake. Oh, we're using ATC. Holy crap. The heck was my call sign again? Tucson ground, American 1295, ready for taxi.
American 1295, runway 29er left taxi via Alpha. Hold short runway 29er right.
We should not be using 29er left. That's right. You know, I wonder if we can change it. Let's try that. We're going to put this to the test here. I've never done this before. Ground, request runway 29er right for American 1295.
American 1295, negative. Please clarify runway 29er left.
Look at
and
that,
hold
she
short
told me
runway
no.
29er right.
But it worked. I was able to at least try. So, the one thing I will say is the throttle throw, and this could be just because I'm used to so much bigger. I'm used to the Verpals, I'm used to the Bravo. The throttle throw is much shorter than definitely the one I'm used to using. So that makes it a little weird, but it's really not bad at all.
American 1295. Contact tower 119er.0.
Contact tower 190. American 1295. Tower, American 1295, holding short, runway 29er left.
American 1295, Tucson Tower, Wing 330 at 05. RNAV to WLDKT. Runway 29er left, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 29er left, American 1295. I mean, you can still use it. It is used for commercial, it just doesn't make sense. You burn a whole lot more fuel for nothing. Alright, so let's go. Here we go. Well, we've got to take off and hit it. What does that mean? Going toga. Positive rate. Gear up. The lateral movement, the spring in it is nice, but it's almost too stiff. Bring us a little closer here.
American 1295, contact Tucson departure 128.5. Have a good day.
Oops.
American 1295, negative, departure frequency 128.5.
Contact departure 28.5, American 1295. Let's bring our flaps up. Tucson departure, American 1295, climbing through 5,000, looking for 7.
American 1295, Tucson departure, radar contact. Climb and maintain flight level 190.
Climb and maintain flight level 190, American 1295. So yeah, the lateral movements are a little stiff, but like it's just coming out of the center detent. Once you get out of the center detent, it's fine. But from this point right here, coming over here, it's a little stiff. But I gotta tell you, so this is probably the busiest section of any flight, right? And that's why I wanted to do the A320. Obviously, it's built around the A320, but let me put it in the autopilot. Let's chat. And we can wrap up this video here in a minute. So the things that I really like about it, first off, the price for it is really nice for someone who needs a full set, plenty of functionality, a good sense of immersion. Hold on. Let's get out of heading mode. There we go. Cool. Looks like we got out of it in time. Did we? Hang on a second. We did not. I'm in the heading mode. There we go. There we go. Thank you. Anyway. So if you're looking for something that is a full set, that is really just sort of has a bit of everything, this is a really awesome set. Some of the things I dislike about it, some of these toggle switches, they feel a little on the toyish side, but everything has to be kept in mind that what this is designed for. This is designed, I mean, you have the option of Xbox or PC, So it was clearly designed with the Xbox in mind, giving you a full flight simulation experience and a nice compact segment. I mean, the two together might be just over, I would say from here to here, maybe 14 inches, 15 inches, maybe. Okay, so nice and compact, a lot of functionality. I really actually enjoyed the throttle quadrant. You've got all of your functionality that's necessary. You've got your detents, that's really nice for, especially for your reverse thrust. The tension adjustments in the front, it makes it very, very convenient. I really do enjoy the fact that you have the ability to remove the detents, so it is not bound to just a single airliner. You could use these for GA absolutely perfectly fine and still maintain a ton of functionality. Now, the beautiful part about Microsoft Flight Simulator, and you guys know that I don't particularly like the in-game control scheme. All right, I use SPAD Next usually. However, the fact that this was completely, speaking of which, the fact that this was completely plug and play, literally, I changed nothing. The only thing that I think I changed was the trigger on this. I changed it from the smart camera to my wheel brakes. And that's because this one was my wheel brakes, but I'm using it for my ATC callouts in Beyond ATC. So I had to make a couple changes, but nothing critical. The hat switch is preset as a camera view. So if that's something that you guys enjoy doing, I hate using POVs, but sometimes it's necessary. Rudder trim works just fine. All the functionality is there, specifically for the Airbus. And what is really nice is that if for $300 you have full compatibility, full configuration. Even this has a throttle on it. Now, I would never use the throttle on this. Let me get it out of the way of the microphone. I would never use that throttle. It's too small, it's too flimsy. There isn't anywhere near enough action on it. I think you would spend more time fighting with it than you would actually taking advantage of it. The other thing that I really appreciate about the stick is that on the twist grip, you have the ability in the front that I showed you guys in the unboxing portion, you have the ability to disable the twist altogether. You can actually lock into a center position. The customization options on the button, being able to swap from left to right-handed. I mean, my thumb's big enough where it really doesn't matter. No matter which one that I chose, I would just, remember to use the other finger. But if you didn't want to do that, you have the ability to change those out. I can actually show you guys what I'm talking about. So you would take this guy here. Here's another red button, and it would mount here. Okay, there's two screws that hold these guys in place. Right, one right here, one right here. Take the screws out, pop the other one in, and then put the screws back in, holds in place. And then you drop it on the floor, and I'll get that in a second. Things that I would like to see a little bit different, honestly, is I would like to see a bit more tactile feel, maybe a little bit larger switches on some of these, but at the same token, I could see, like on the fuel cutoffs, I could see where those would sort of get in the way. If you made them any larger, given your hand position, that might not be ideal. I think it'd be kind of cool if you could do a lift, on these and do your parking brake, little stuff, nitpicky stuff. But all in all, I think Thrustmaster has actually done a really great job creating an all-in-one kit that solves, I would say, 80% of the flight simulation aviators' needs. And this is really ideal, especially if you're on Xbox. If you're on console, this is a superb setup. Because of its diversity, because of the ability to very easily integrate with the Xbox, the fact that it daisy chains, the throttle plugs into the stick would only use one USB port on your Xbox. The other thing that this would be really nice for, again, you guys see what I've got here. If you're limited to space and you don't have the ability or the comfort to set up something behemoth like that, then this is absolutely a perfect solution to that. So all in all, if I were to give this a score out of 10, I would say this is a 7 out of 10. There's a few things, again, that need to be adjusted. Again, not crazy about the throttle. Some of it feels a bit plasticky, but what I will give Thrustmaster right out of the gate is the price point is right where it belongs. For $299, getting this full kit, because you have to remember that the speed brake and the flap handle units, these are separate. So if you want to buy all these as a package, it's $299 US. And honestly, that's actually a pretty sweet deal for what you're getting. When I first pulled it out of the box, I was very skeptical. When I first set it on the desk, I was skeptical. After being able to adjust the tension and things like that, that really made it a lot easier to sort of give my own buy-in to myself, if you will. After using it here on the takeoff, oops, hold on. After using it here on the takeoff, this has been a very nice experience. I was expecting the short throw of the handle to be more frustrating or less accurate than what it turned out to be. The detents were perfect. As soon as I felt the click, I let go, and the aircraft is where it belongs. And this is with the fly-by-wire. So I mean, I had to configure that inside the fly pad for the throttle configuration. But again, what I was saying earlier about, like, for example, your fuel shutoffs and things like that, these are going to be global across Microsoft Flight Simulator. So any of these switches that you bind, as long as you use within Microsoft Flight Simulator, you'll have it all ready to go. Your flat panda will be ready. Your landing gear, your fuel cutoffs, your parking brake. So you could use this in multiple aircraft and still take advantage of it, right? I haven't tried it with GA aircraft yet. You know, we might do another flight. I'm sure we'll do another flight as time goes on, where we will do exactly that. But I would definitely give this my buy. And I'm going to be honest, guys. I'm shocked to say that, because when I first pulled out of the box and feeling the plastic nature of it, I was a little skeptical. But again, I'm also a spoiled brat, you know, with all of the other stuff that I have. So I'm going to give Thrustmaster the 2 thumbs up here. This turned out to be a very pleasant surprise and a very welcome surprise, and I think they've done a really good job creating something that is suitable for just about any aviator. If you're on Xbox, it's an absolutely, definitely go for it. If you're on desktop and you're limited on space, it's a go for it. If you're someone like me who needs to be able to sort of do both, this is a go for it, because the twist grip is nice. And I would say definitely if you're someone who travels, maybe you're on a laptop and you want to have a full set, this would be great for traveling. Again, because of its size, the compactness of its build, this would definitely be something that would be welcome for a travel. So anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, I hope you found this video useful and helpful. I hope it aids you in your buying endeavors later on. And as always, stay safe and healthy. I'll see you in the next one.